I know it's been a while since I made a video. It's been like 4 or 5 months since I've made any videos. But why have I not been making videos? Well, I've been working. Where? At the Chick-Fil-A. But guess what happened? They fucking fired me. And now, I'm gonna make a video I've been wanting to make for a good, long ass time. Really a couple months since I started working there. Chick-Fil-A, you brought this on yourself.
This is the intro, bitch. So just watch my shit.
So before I begin, I just want to say I enjoyed working at Chick-Fil-A. I had a lot of good friends there. I still have good friends at the Chick-Fil-A. And this is not on them. This is actually on our owner. I live in Kansas City, and I also have bipolar disorder, I have Asperger's syndrome, I have OCD, or mild OCD, and I also have sociopathic dysphoria, whatever the fuck that is. So when I first applied to Chick-fil-A, I did not expect to get in. I didn't expect for anything to happen because every job I've had or applied for as a person with bipolar disorder, they automatically don't hire me or they give me little menial tasks with like 1 hour a day, shit pay, and it's not even worth it to work. However, when I got the interview at Chick-fil-A, at first I was ecstatic. I was so happy to just get an interview. I mean, that's just unheard of. And I told the man who interviewed me, Drew, that I had bipolar disorder and that it is not easy for me to stay sane or calm or in any situation. Like, stress just gets to me. Stress can build and then explode. Like, it's not a good thing for someone who has bipolar disorder to get stressed because it's not a good thing to just be around. And it's also just kind of a downer. But he told me, at Chick-fil-A, they work with you. And they are a Christian-based company, which in all honesty, they might as well be Jewish because of all the things that I'm about to tell you. Also, I'm going to take this fucking hat off. We're getting edgy right here on the FlorkertaTV reboot. At the interview, on the spot, he hired me. He's like, hey, you're going to come in tomorrow. You're going to work 5 hours. It's going to be awesome. By the way, all week you're going to be working. It's going to be cool. We're going to hook you up. We're going to help you. We're going to work with you in your disorder, and you're going to be awesome. Welcome to the Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, yeah. I got some high self-esteem now. These guys, they were good to me. They were nice. They were helpful at first. They worked with me at first. They made me have the self-esteem that I just never had before at first. I was so happy to be working there at first. And then I started noticing things. At the end of the summer, we had like a shift. The teenagers were no longer working there, and they needed more bodies. So I'm like, hey, I'll sign up for the opening shift. I'm well equipped here. I like all you guys. Let's put me in an opening shift. Why not? And they're like, hell yeah, we'll work with you there. We'll work with you. It'll be fine. For a couple months, shit was good. It was awesome. I had a couple little issues, little freakouts here and there, but more or less, they helped me out. They were fine. But then I needed to take a break because I was having a tough time dealing with a customer or a guest, as they say at Chick-fil-A. I was getting really stressed out, and I asked my manager if they could like take over the situation so I could go back and breathe. They're like, no, you deal with that guest. And then also I needed to take time off to go to my psychiatrist appointment so I can get more medication for my mental disorder. They're like, okay, but we're gonna cut your hours down. For 1 day off, they cut my hours down significantly. I was working 40 hours a week. Now I was getting like 20 hours a week. That is some bullshit. Every 3 months, I have to go see the doctor so he can make sure that I'm actually alive and okay and adjusted and all that bullshit. Right around the time I have to see the doctor again, I'd be getting my hours back up because I wasn't taking any time off. And the second I asked for time off, boom, hours are cut. And then also, when you need time off, you have to ask it for a whole month out. My brother and sister are in the fucking military for the United States government, and they have to ask it for 2 weeks. I'm working at the goddamn Chick-fil-A. I gotta ask it a whole fucking month? Fuck you. If you say anything that is anti-God or anti-religion or in like one little minuscule way against their way of thinking, you're going to get your hours cut. I am not a person that believes in God, and for the most part, I did my best to keep my mouth shut. Every now and then, I would have a little snicker while I'm working on the beverages. Our owner, for the past couple weeks, would open a sermon in the fucking Chick-fil-A, and he would make everyone come in and listen to it who isn't like that busy. I made it a point when he was doing his sermon to work on the drive-thru because I didn't want to hear a fucking sermon. I'm coming there to work. I'm not coming there to hear a fucking goddamn sermon. Out of nowhere, I was getting sick often, like off and on, and I ended up working, I think, 10 hours per week, but I had a good steady paycheck, so I was okay, but I was sick. And this went on from like fucking September all the way to mid-February. I was sick off and on, and when I was sick, I would be sick for like days on end. I was coughing. I couldn't, like, I felt just heavy and short of breath and lightheaded. Nothing worked, really. I went to the hospital, like, oh yeah, you got the flu, there's a bad bug going around, drink orange juice and shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine. Then it got to a point where I couldn't see straight at all. Like, if I were to get up, I would fall over. And I tried to go to work at one point, when I was sick, and I wound up accidentally coughing on food, and in that Chick-fil-A, they took it back and they remade it, but whatever. And my boss got pissed. He's like, hey, you're not supposed to be here while you're sick. Go home. So he told me. I left. I clocked out. I went home. I laid down. And then out of nowhere, I wound up getting rushed to the hospital by EMTs because I was shortness of breathing, shortness of breath. Just I couldn't see. I felt lightheaded. I just felt weak. I couldn't keep any food down. I wound up coughing up blood. And apparently, I have diabetes type 1. That's not fun shit. I've only had this for a month now. And here's where this comes in. At Chick-fil-A, we had issues with me and my diabetes because I had to check my blood. And then, like, when you check your blood at Chick-fil-A, at least you had to wash your hands. You gotta sanitize down. You gotta do it all. Like, it takes a good 2 minutes. And that's the 2 minutes that I can't work. Because I have to check blood. It's like a medical thing. And they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, you're good, whatever. So there was that, where every day I would take 2 minutes every couple hours to check my blood, wash my hands, all that shit. And then also there were times where working so hard, I wouldn't be able to eat anything. My blood sugar would drop to dangerous levels to where I would have to go in the back and sit down, and they didn't like that. I did for the most part. I tried not to do that because I knew eventually if I did that enough times that they would fire me. It's only been a month since I've gotten this diagnosis. Today, they have fired me. I have diabetes, and they didn't like that me going to the back and sitting down because I'm about to pass the fuck out is a necessary medical thing. They play favorites all the time up in there. There are people I knew who worked there that got over 40 hours a week, and there are people I knew who, like me, we can't smile all the time at work. We can't act like a fucking Barbie doll. And they give those people maybe 10 hours, if that. I mean, I was picking up shifts and working 14-hour days just to keep my lights on. I mean, that's not good. It was a pain in the ass to do because they would cut your hours down significantly if you asked for one little day off. They are hypocritical as fuck too. This might be all Chick-fil-A's, this might be just our Chick-fil-A, but there was a table out in the little waiting area where you wait to pick up your food. If you've ever been to Chick-fil-A, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where they didn't want us to sit there ever. Like, you can never sit here. You cannot sit at this one table, which is fine. Yeah, we just went around the corner. However, our managers, for their fucking meetings that they take every goddamn day for 4 hours on end, would sit right there. And they also told us we can't sit there to eat. Bam, manager's sitting there eating. I'm like, what the fuck? If you can't hit your own rules, don't make those rules. And then eventually they told us you can't eat out in the little cafeteria area. You can't do that because our guests need to eat there. So we would go into the back to this little tiny hallway with this little tiny table, and it became crowded because people who come in when the shifts are split, it's about 4 or 5 people that come in. You have 4 or 5 people squeezed into one room eating, and then you got your kitchen on top of that. That is 10 people shoved in this little room trying to eat. And our office where our managers talk is like right next there, split between like a tiny little piece of drywall. And then they would ask us to keep it quiet, but there's like 10 people out there, and we're all trying to talk amongst each other, kind of get, comfortable with each other because we're trying to work, but then we can't do that. So they told us, you can't park in our parking lot because we need these spots for our guests, so you gotta park 2 lots over in the little movie theater. Because where my Chick-fil-A was, there's like a movie theater, there's a couple department stores, clothing stores, all of those. They want us to park in the movie theater, like way out there. So once we get on our break, we'd have to take our food out to our vehicle bicycles, and they wouldn't let us sit on the curb outside because that is loitering. So it got to the point where we would go outside to eat, and then they would be angry that, like, just this one thing on top of another. You can't do this, you can't do this, so do this. We can't do that now. I mean, just all over again. It is a vicious, repetitive cycle. And also, our owner, and I'm going to name him right now, Andy Galloway, is one of those people. He's the kind of person that if you were to say an idea, he wouldn't like your idea. He'll take your idea and make it his. And out of nowhere, like, oh, he thought of that. No, you didn't. We thought of that, and you're taking it from us, not giving anyone any credit. And there were people I noticed who were there all the time because Andy wanted those people there. And also, Andy is the person who thought it'd be a good idea to fire me. Now, this is plain and simple discrimination against a mentally ill person and also a person with newly diagnosed diabetes. This is discrimination, and that's it. Chick-fil-A is one of the most hypocritical places I've ever worked. I will say one little mildly controversial thing, and then they'll shut it down quick. Also, they will get so angry at you for no reason whatsoever, just because you have an opinion. Hopefully, this video will spread, and they will find out that they can't keep discriminating. Chick-fil-A is going downhill, too. I know this. They're losing money, even though they are a fast-growing place. They fired me because they didn't like A, my opinions, B, the way I am. I'm a very blunt person due to my bipolar disorder. I just say what I'm thinking. And also, my newly diagnosed diabetes causing trouble at work. They fired me for those reasons. It's discrimination. And shit like this happens all the time. I can't tell you how many jobs I've lost because of my mental illness. So, Chick-fil-A, you've brought this on yourself. People, get this video circulating, please. I want so many people to know how hypocritical Chick-fil-A is. And yes, I know their food is delicious. I worked there for a year and a half. Their food is godly, pun intended. However, don't eat there. Speak with your wallet. If you care about disabled people, don't eat at Chick-fil-A. If you eat at Chick-fil-A, you don't care about disabled people and you want us all to die. I'm bringing FlorkertaTV back. I'm looking for another job right now, yes, but I will bring FlorkertaTV back with a vengeance. I might not have the hat as always, because the shadow is really fucking weird. I might just keep it with my hair. But FlorkertaTV is back. What should I talk about next? Game, movie, or show? Let me know in the comments below. Y'all got florked.